We're now joined by Sarisha Shrestha, who is Miss Nepal 2022 from Kathmandu. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Sarisha. If you could quickly tell us what is it that you're hearing, what is happening, and tell us more about why the youth of Nepal are so angry.
Thank you so much for reaching out, NDTV, first of all. And I'm so glad that my video reached out to the international media and we could get some attention in this urgent matter, because a lot of chaotic situation is happening in the country right now. Yesterday, there was a very peaceful protest by the Gen Z in order to restore peace in the country against corruption. It was not an anti-social media ban protest, but rather an anti-corruption movement that was led by the Gen Z. And there were many students involved, but they were shot dead. More than 18 people lost their lives across the country. A lot of people were injured. Even the hospitals and residencies were stormed into and they were attacked. And right now I am in the area of Baneshwar Maitighar, where the major protests are happening. I'm here right now to get a good connectivity. So I'm a little away from the protest. I was there in the protest near the parliamentary building in the grounds since the morning. And there is a lot of chaos happening. The youths are really riled up, and the parliament is right now. There's fire going on. We're also hearing news that the ministers are fleeing away while the youths are on the streets just asking for their rights for a peaceful and better tomorrow.
That's right, Sarisha, and we've heard some of the protesters speaking to our reporters saying that this is not to do with the social media ban. I think there's some amount of resentment that is how it was portrayed, that this is to do with corruption. We've also seen that ministers' houses have been set on fire. Prime Minister's private residence has also been set on fire.
Yes, absolutely. This is an anti-corruption movement led by the Gen Z. I'd like to repeat that this is not regarding the social media ban. Yes, of course, it is there a little bit in the agenda, but the whole point is about the corruption, because people are frustrated with the systemic issues going on in the country, the oppression that has been going on from the government side, because this is going on for a lot of time. And with the social media ban, it was just the last straw which led to this, the ignition of this fire, and the youth had to come out because it was an oppression of our voices and choices as well. So this has been going on for a lot of time: corruption, nepotism, gatekeeping everywhere, and this was a voice against all of that.
That's right. Sarisha, now if the government wants to have a dialogue, who is the leadership? It's called the Gen Z protest, it's called the Gen Z, movement that is being led. But do you have any leaders there if the government wanted to have some sort of dialogue?
So this is supposed to be a faceless and a leadership movement led by all the youths of the country, and we don't have a particular leader in action, but a lot of people are urging our mayor of Kathmandu Metropolitan City, Balan Shah, to take the lead in this matter, and all the other youth activists and youth leaders to come forward in that matter. We just don't want the same corrupted politicians in the sphere again. We want the new youth energy.
All right, and yesterday we saw, the violence and clashes. 19 people were killed yesterday in that violence, yes. and that has triggered today's protest as well. If the Prime Minister has called for an all-party meeting, but really, what do you see as the way out? How can both sides, how can things calm down? Because one doesn't want more people to lose their lives.
Absolutely. I think from our side, from the youth, we tried our best to keep it at till the level of peaceful demonstrations. Everything was going on well until some riots happened, and then the police decided to really take strong actions, which was completely against the international human rights, because shooting students dressed in their school uniforms, shooting even minors, this is completely not tolerable. And that is the reason why, even when curfews have been imposed throughout the nation, people are coming out in the streets fearless, and they are battling for their rights right now.
Right. The Prime Minister said yesterday that some vested, interests, some vested groups had infiltrated the protest. Yesterday, we saw a message from the handle of the Gen Z protest also saying that other people may have come into the protest. What is your comment on that? Are there fears that perhaps opposition, those who are opposed to the government, not just the youth, but other vested interests are using this as an opportunity to topple the government?
Well, most likely this could have been the case where there might have been infiltration by the political parties as well for their interest. But that doesn't justify the actions that were taken yesterday. We highly condemn violence, that two killings of minors, as I've already mentioned. So regardless of whatever infiltration was done, whatever was done, I think the government could have chosen some other ways to control the scenario yesterday.
So are you saying that, yes, there was some sort of, other interest groups infiltrating the protests of the youth?
Well, I'm not very aware about that because till the time I was here in the protest, everything was going on very smoothly. And the main parliamentary area there were some issues going on in that area where we were a little far away from the area, but we heard that bullets were being fired. We heard that, there's going to be a curfew, and we had to leave the place because we were really scared. We all were scared at that moment. There's a panic going on. So I'm not very sure and not very aware if there was any political infiltrations, but that I would still stand by it that does not justify any sort of actions that were taken yesterday because it was brutal and inhumane.
That's right. Sarisha, you said there's no leadership of this Gen Z protest. How are you organizing yourself, if you could tell us?
So this is actually being organized all together by the youth groups. People are coming together in social media. We all are coming together. We're raising our voices. We're just organizing. Okay, let's meet here. Let's do a peaceful demonstration. So it's all led by youth. We never intended to make this, about promoting a certain individual, promoting a certain party or whatsoever, because this has to be a faceless, a leaderless movement is what we believed, because our motive is for the greater good of the country.
Right, very, very idealistic. Yes, of course, at some point perhaps some leadership has to emerge. As you said, perhaps the mayor of Kathmandu could possibly fill in that gap, that vacuum that is there. Quickly, if you could once again tell viewers who are watching you right now what this protest is all about. It was building up for a while. There was a social media trend about Nepo kids, and there was a lot of anger over misgovernance, corruption, authoritarianism.
Yes, absolutely. I'd like to repeat this once again. This was a completely a movement against the corruption that has been going on in the country for quite some time now. The systemic oppression, the corruption, nepotism, gatekeeping that has been going on. And this was the last straw with the social media ban, with the oppression of our voices, and the Nepo kids trend that took on in the social media. That was the reason that this aggravated so much. But this is a frustration, not just of one generation, but I believe all the generations. And it was just the Gen Z standing up and feeling that now the youth should actually